Whose numbers am I chasing? Whose finish makes me late? I threw away the measuring tape. I keep my own measure now. One mark beyond the last one. One honest inch somehow. No stranger sets my distance. I keep my own measure now. Lunch break, phone against the bottle, watching strangers lift and run. Every highlight made my effort look like nothing I had done. I compare their brightest moment to the week I barely slept, then erased a solid session because theirs looked more intense. My notebook stayed half empty, not from lack of work or sweat, but because I called it worthless if it wasn't someone's best. I kept moving every target to a place I couldn't stand, using other people's progress like a ruler in my head. But a ruler built for someone else will lie about my height. So I wrote down where I started, not where they arrived. Whose numbers am I chasing? Whose finish makes me late? I threw away the measuring tape. I keep my own measure now. One mark beyond the last one. One honest inch somehow. No stranger sets my distance. I keep my own measure. I began recording everything, the weight, the pace, the rest. How I handled low attention, how I finished when depressed. Not to turn my life to data, not to worship every score, but to see that quiet progress had been happening before. 4 more seconds under tension, one less break between the rounds. A calmer breath when doubt arrived, a cleaner landing on the ground. Small advances looked invisible when I stared across the lane, but beside my former numbers they were evidence of change. Not their pace, not their frame, not their season, not their name. My last mark draws the line. I move it one more time. Comparison kept changing the unit until nothing I did could count. So I chose one honest standard. Be harder to stop than I was last round. Whose numbers am I chasing? No one's standing in my way. I threw away the measuring tape and faced my record on the page. One mark beyond the last one. One honest inch somehow. No stranger sets my distance. I'll keep my own measure now. I close the app, I mark the page. I carry the lesson, not the I'm Mr. Wheat and carried it like iron tied behind my name. Every session that I skipped became another plate of shame. By the time I came back through, I was tired before I moved, trying to lift today's assignment with the past stacked on it too. I thought guilt would keep me honest, make me pay for losing ground, but it bent my form and focus, pulled my eyes toward what was gone. I spent more strength contending than the work required to change, dragging dead weight through the present that could never be retrieved. Responsibility can guide me, shame just overloads the frame. I can't own what I neglected without carrying it today. Set down the dead weight, lift what's in my hands. I can't change the load I missed, but I can finish what I planned. No punishment for yesterday, no mercy for delay. Set down the dead weight, do today's work today. Do today's liked. Kept the movement clean and slow. Didn't chase the old performance, didn't force the body's growth. I recorded what was honest, where I weakened, where I stood. Then returned without the drama and repeated what I could. The burden lost its meaning when I stopped feeding it regret. Past mistakes became instruction, not a sentence on my neck. I still answer for my absence, I still rebuild what I let fade. But I refuse to make recovery heavier than the work itself.
What belongs to this moment? Breath, position, effort, next. What belongs behind me?
The punishment I invented. None of them doing the work. Advice filled every open tab. Opinions crowded every hour. One voice said to move with patience, one demanded speed and power. I kept collecting information until action felt unclear. Building noise around decisions I already knew were mine. At the gym I changed the session after watching someone train. At my desk I changed direction. Every time a message came I called confusion complicated, but the pattern stayed exact. I was using constant input to avoid one quiet task. Cut through the static, find the signal underneath. One clear action, one decision I can keep. Let the whole world keep transmitting. I don't answer every sound. Cut through the static, do the work that matters now. I closed the extra windows, put the phone outside the room, wrote the next 3 actions and refused to add a fourth. The silence felt uncomfortable, like I'd lost some vital guide. But the message came in clearly when the interference died. I learned focus isn't magic, it is subtraction with the cost. Every choice I keep in front of me means another choice gets lost. That was what I had avoided, letting good ideas go. But 100 open signals never tell the body where to move.
What is the signal?
The next right task.
What is the noise?
Everything else.
What needs an answer?
The work in my hands. Cut
Through the static,
find the signal underneath.
one clear action.
One decision I can keep. Let the whole world keep transmitting. I don't answer every sound. Cut
Through the static,
do the work that matters now.
less input, more proof. I kept changing the agreement whenever it got hard.
I made promises in comfort, signed them when the week felt clean, and revised every condition when the pressure entered in. Not tonight, I'm too exhausted. Not this set, my focus slipped. Every clause became an exit. Every standard came with terms. I called it being flexible, but I knew what I had done. Built a contract with commitment that dissolved when work began. My word only had value when it cost me something real, and mine had become a sentence I no longer had to keep.
So I wrote the terms in action, not in speeches, not in hope.
A promise without consequence is only empty noise. These are terms I won't renegotiate. I begin when I said I would. I finish the honest portion. I don't trade effort for mood. No hidden clause for comfort. No escape written in. My word means more than intention.
When the difficult hour begins,
I reduced the obligations to a standard I could own. 4 days marked for training, one hard task before my phone. Not a perfect life on paper, not a pledge designed to fail. Just agreements built for practice, strong enough to carry weight. When resistance raised objections, I stopped meeting it halfway. I had already made the decision on a calmer, clearer day. That version of me had signed it. This version had to act. Self-respect became the payment for completing the contract.
no amendment for fatigue, no revision for regret.
I can lower pride, adjust the load, but I don't erase the commitment.
I used to ask, what do I feel like doing? Now I ask,
What did I agree to become? These are terms I won't renegotiate. I begin when I said I would. I finish the honest portion. I don't trade effort for mood. No hidden clause for comfort. No escape written in. My word becomes my standard.
when the difficult hour begins. I signed it once, I honor it daily.
One torn hour
Doesn't own the rest.
One torn hour doesn't own the rest.
The meeting ran past 7. The train doors closed too soon.
Dinner came from whatever was still open near my room. I had planned a full session, every movement, every set. But the evening lost its shape, so I abandoned all of it. That was always my reaction, one loose thread, then let it tear. If the schedule wasn't perfect, I behaved like none was there. I could turn a small disruption into days without a scene, then blame life for pulling open what I never tried to mend. A torn hour isn't a ruined day. Taiwan, action to the next. I can't make the fabric flawless, but I can keep it from unraveling.
From unraveling.
I cleared a space beside the table, set 12 minutes on the clock. Moved through 5 control positions, then prepared what morning needed. Filled the bottle, packed the bag, wrote the first task on the page. Nothing looked like my original plan, but nothing else was thrown away. I began to keep small needles for the places schedule split. Shorten work, a simpler meal, one honest promise I could still. Flexibility stopped meaning that commitment had dissolved. It became the skill of holding when the pattern had to change. Some decisions. Some plans tear beneath the strain. I don't need to hide the damage. I need hands that can repair.
Stitch the day together, not beautifully, but strongly enough to carry into morning.
A torn hour isn't a ruined day. Tie one action to the next. I won't make disorder larger by abandoning what remains. The fabric doesn't need perfection, it needs tension I can hold. One small seam across the evening,
Then another when it pulls.
I repair before I restart.
I kept a failed project buried in a folder named Old.
I kept a failed project buried in a folder named 6 months of work ended in one quiet room. A presentation cut short, every weakness exposed. The numbers did not support what I wanted, believed in. The team left in silence with their notebooks closed. I deleted the shortcuts from the desktop that night. Stopped answering questions, kept my language polite. Said the project had changed, said the timing was wrong. Anything but the sentence, I helped steer it wrong. After that I trained safely, worked inside what I knew. Never offered a bold thought, never tested one new. Failure became wreckage, I refused to approach. So I built every decision far away from the smoke. But buried material does not vanish below. It shapes where you walk even when nobody knows. I was avoiding one ruin and shrinking my range, letting one collapse structure decide I could not change. One Saturday I opened every file I had sealed, printed notes from the meeting, spread the facts on the floor. Not to punish the person I had been at the time, to separate what was useful from what could not restore. The goal had been vague, the timeline was pride. I ignored 2 clear warnings because praise felt alive. We measured what looked good, not the risk underneath. And I called every concern negativity. There it was, not a curse, not proof I was unfit, just decisions with consequences, piece after piece. Some parts were poor judgment, some skills were not grown. Some damage came from problems I could never control. The wreckage became material when I labeled it right. No longer one dark shape swallowing the light. I wrote 3 new practices beside every mistake, then brought them to the next plan before building the frame. Sort the stone, mark the fault, keep the lesson, leave the shame. What collapsed can still instruct me without becoming my name. Take the beam that held, discard what fails, build with open eyes. I don't owe the past denial, I owe the future better design.
Yeah. Better design.
On the next assignment, I asked questions too soon. Named the weakest assumption in the center of the room. Set checkpoints for evidence, not applause from the team. And invited disagreement before choosing the scheme. In training, I studied the session where form came apart. Not with anger at my body, but attention to cause. Too little sleep, too much load, a rushed final set. The lessons be practical when I removed all regret. I still remember the meaning, I remember the door, but it no longer means I should attempt nothing more. A collapse isn't ending only if I refuse to recover the knowledge left among what I lose. Name the failure, not yourself. Study the fracture, save what helps. No shrine to regret,
engine running. Hands fixed tight on the wheel. Workday hanging from my shoulders, every excuse already rehearsed. I watched people cross the parking lot while I negotiated with the worst. Part of me, the voice that promised tomorrow would feel more right. That effort needed perfect timing. That discipline should feel light. I had driven all that distance just to hide behind the glass, turning one uncomfortable hour into another promise past. Every time I stayed outside, the room inside me got smaller. Avoidance never kept me safe, it only made the doorway taller. I stopped asking for permission from a feeling built to change. Put my hand against the handle, let the action lead the way. The door still opens when my confidence is gone. The door still opens when the day has dragged too long. I don't need the right emotion, I just need to cross that line. The door still opens, so I enter every time. No dramatic transformation, no crowd waiting at the rack. Just a quiet first repetition and my breathing coming back. I chose movements I could finish, left my ego by the wall. Learned that showing up diminished, still I weigh, not showing at all. Then the entrance lost its power, became wood, a frame, a hinge. Fear had made it look like judgment, action made it small again. Some nights I still sit parked there with resistance in my chest, but I know which side blows freedom and which side rehearses regret. Ready is a room I may never reach. Action is a threshold under my feet. I don't wait for courage to call my name, I move first and courage follows late. The door still opens when my confidence is gone. The door still opens when the day is dragged too long. I don't need the right emotion, I just need to cross that line. The door still opens and I enter every time. The feeling gets no key, my hand decides. The first movement shook, I nearly called that proof. Yeah, I returned after a long year to a room that knew my past. Saw familiar faces moving at the pace I used to have. My hands felt laid and awkward, every warm-up showed the loss. I could feel my pride inventing 10 good reasons to walk off. The tool inside my memory still remembered being sharp. So the friction of beginning felt like damage, felt like harm. I confused the layer of rust with the ending of the steel. Judged the whole remaining structure by the weakness I could feel. Rust is not ruined, stiff is not destroyed. Use returns through contact, skill returns through work. I stayed with lighter movements, let the shaking have its space. Didn't reach the younger athletes, didn't hide my current state. Every careful repetition scraped a little doubt away. What had stepping through neglect started answering again. There were limits I respected, there were numbers I released. I was not restoring history, I was building present strength. The old edge might return slowly or become a different kind, but I would rather use the is not ruin. Loss is not a final name. I don't chase the old reflection, I restore the working edge.
Let the friction clean the surface. Let each session speak the truth. I am useful in the process, not just perfect when renewed. I measure myself
by returning to the work. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Deadline passed on Friday. I blame the crowded week. Said the plan was too ambitious. Said exhaustion made me weak. But the photo told a story that my mouth could not revise. 3 unfinished drafts, 2 missing calls, and hours I could justify. I kept presenting explanations like a case I had to win. Cross-examining every circumstance except the choice within. I thought shame would make me sharper, but it only taught me how to defend the same behavior I was claiming to renounce.
No speech can clear the record. No promise closes the case.
I needed evidence before excuses.
Work that can stand in their place.
Monday, I reduced the argument to 1 page before 10. Sent the message I'd avoided, then completed it again. I stopped building grand intentions that collapsed beneath the day. Started leaving finished pieces where excuses used to stay. The inner voice objected, you're behind, you've lost too much. I answer with the timestamp, with the file, a call, a task. Not dramatic, not impressive, just a fact I couldn't bend. I had done what I had written, that was where defense would end.
Weeks later, I still feel the impulse to explain before I act, to make failure sound reasonable, to soften every fact. But I know the final verdict isn't spoken in my head. It is built from what I finished, from the proof my hours present.
What did I promise? Show the proof. What did I finish? Show the proof. What did I say? Show the proof. No closing speech, just truth.
No speech can clear the record. No promise closes the case. I bring evidence before excuses.
Work that can stand in their place. Every day it turns the record. I chose what I will say. The shift without a break, the work through the morning. If my body said slow, I called discipline weak, then dragged half dead effort through the rest of the week. At the warehouse, one bearing had screamed for a month, but production stayed moving, so nobody touched it. Then the whole line stopped with the orders backed high. One neglected small part left the system offline. Stood by the conveyor while the mechanics worked, watching heat leave the motor, watching damage emerge. Nothing failed in 1 second, the failure accrued. Every warning we silenced had been telling the truth. I thought about the tightness I ignored in my knee. The 4 hours of sleep I kept calling routine. I was proud of endurance while function declined, running everything harder as the part fell behind. Maintenance is the mission, keep the system fit to move. I don't prove that I am driven by destroying what I use.
Cool the engine, check the protection. Hear the warning while it's small.
Maintenance is the mission.
Staying ready is the call.
I changed what I respected when I got home that night. Put recovery beside every task I would write. Not as something I earned after doing enough, but a part of the process that kept output honest. I saw in one session when the movement felt wrong. Did the careful work slowly instead of forcing it on. Prepare food for the week, turn the screen off at 10, then return with more control when I trained again. At work I stopped praising the last minute save, when a simple inspection could have prevented the break. Log the sound of the rollers, check the belt and the heat. Prevention looks boring, but the orders stay complete. I began seeing strength as a system, not mood. Stress followed by repair, both properly used. The machine without rest is not loyal or brave. It is borrowing function, it will later repay.
Listen early, adjust clean. Protect the parts that carry the dream.
Not less committed, not backing down. I keep it operational, I keep it sound.
There are days made for output, there are days made demand. Both belong to the standard if I plan to continue.
I won't wait for a breakdown to respect what I feel. I won't call damage courage just because it looks real.
The strongest system isn't the one that never slows. It is one that reads the warning and responds before it goes.
Maintenance is the mission. Keep the system fit to move. I no longer chase exhaustion like it has something to prove.
Check the tension, keep alignment, make the needed change on time.
Maintenance is the mission.
Durability defines the drive.
I don't run myself into the ground.
I keep myself available for the work. I missed the full hour, so I nearly gave away the whole day.
My thinking had two settings, perfect effort or defeat. If I couldn't run the program, I would never start the piece. 40 minutes became useless when I only had 16. A smaller meal was failure if the whole week wasn't clean. I kept flipping one hard switch, saw commitment then collapse. Building streaks too strict to live in, then escaping through the gaps. Every interruption proved I wasn't capable of change, because I never learned adjustment, I only knew extreme. But power moves through circuits, it can lower, it can root. A system built to last doesn't die when plans cut out. I'm not just on or off, I can bend without a break. I can shorten the session and still honor what I said. Loss is not surrender, change is not the same as loss. I keep current through the system.
I'm not just on or off.
I'm not just on or off.
Yeah.
Now I carry backup options, 20 minutes, body weight, one prepared meal from the freezer, one small task before it's late. Not excuses dressed as effort, not permission to retreat, but a second working circuit when the first one cannot meet. The old voice calls it weakness, that is not enough to count. I answer with consistency, with months that don't burn out. I would rather keep connection through an ordinary day than build a perfect week of voltage that destroys itself in flames.
Full power when I have it, reduced power when I don't. But the line remains connected, I protect the forward flow.
I'm not just on or off, I can bend without a break. I can
circuit close.
One reading is not the trend. One reading is not the trend.
Yeah. The bar moves slow on Tuesday, slower than the week before. My hands felt weak, my breathing broken, doubt came through the door. I took one tired performance and stretched it across my name. Caught months of steady training, a mistake because of one day. I ignored the night shift ending, the 4 hours I had slept, the meal I missed at midday. All the strain I had and checked the gauge dropped for a moment, so I claimed the system failed, letting one unstable reading turn the whole machine to doubt. A needle can move sharply without changing where I'm headed.
One reading is not the trend. One hard day is not the end. Check the pattern, check the weeks, measure more than how this feels. I don't judge the whole direction by one number in descent. One reading is not the trend.
Reduced the load that evening, kept the movement clean and plain. Wrote the context by the numbers instead of hiding it in shame.
Sleep low, stress high.
Still completed what was wise. That record told a fuller truth than disappointment could provide across the next 3 sessions.
Strength return without a fight. Nothing needed reinvention, nothing permanent and died. The body never promised every day will read the same. Progress lives inside a pattern, not a single point of strain.
Read the signal, check the cause. Don't make panic into law. Watch the average, track the range. Give the system room to change.
One reading is not the trend. One hard day is not the end. Check the pattern, check the weeks, measure more than how this feels. I won't sentence my direction from one moment in descent.
One reading
Is not the trend.
I record the day, I do not become it. I added weight to hide the plateau, forced the movement through the line. Turned each session to an argument with results that needed time. My breathing broke before the pattern, my position lost its shape. Still I pressed my hands down harder, trying to hurry what I made. Away from training I was similar, rushing drafts before they form, sending work without refinement just to prove I could produce. I thought force created progress, I thought more could fix delay, but every rushed impression left a weakness in the clay. What I shape in desperation will still carry every mark.
The clay remembers every careless hand, every rushed decision stays inside the final form. So I slow the wheel beneath me, I apply what I can stand.
The clay remembers,
I choose what it remembers now.
I cut the load and faced the weakness, kept my elbows where they belonged. Paused at every Very unstable angle, built control before moving on. I schedule weeks without a test, let recovery do its part. Stop demanding daily evidence from a process built in layers. At the dusk I held the draft back, read it clean the following day. Found the corners I had flattened by insisting on my pace. Patience wasn't passive waiting, it was pressure with control. Steady hands around the structure, enough restraint to let it grow. Shape, release, set the line, begin again. Too much force can fold the center, too much speed can warp the wall. I am not behind for taking the exact time strength requires. The finish is decided long before the surface dries. It is hidden in the handling, in the care between each stride. The clay remembers every practiced hand, every clean decision stays inside the final form. I don't rush the wheel beneath me, I build what time can stand. The clay remembers, and I leave it something strong. No force without control, no finish before form. The room was too small, the week was too crowded. They used to be enough to stop me. Yeah. The hotel had no training room, just carpet and a chair. A suitcase by the window, stale air everywhere. I had planned the perfect session 3 cities ago, so I decided this one counted as impossible. That excuse felt familiar, I had used it at home. Wrong hour, wrong weather, not enough room. If the setup wasn't ideal, I treated effort as fake, like discipline belonged to a particular place. The same pattern followed every difficult week. If the office be crazy, I said I could not think. If my schedule moved sideways, every habit went too. I made conditions responsible for what I would do. I thought standards were rigid, same tools, same ground, but a standard that vanishes when the setting changes was never fully mine. It belonged to the arrangement. Choose what is here, clear what I need, make the ground usable, begin where I stand. No perfect terrain, no promised ease, make the ground usable, work with what remains. I moved the chair to the wall, laid a towel on the floor, set 20 honest minutes instead of wishing for more. Slow repetitions, controlled range, no need to pretend. It matched the full program, I would follow again. The purpose was not numbers, the purpose was proof. The setting could change without changing the truth. I can modify the action and protect the intent, keep the habit alive without calling less effort a debt. Next morning the lobby was loud when I opened my notes, so I put in earplugs, roll one out, come to close. Found a table in the corner, worked the focused half hour, then left with something finished instead of blaming the crowd. I began carrying fewer requirements with me, a short written plan, one band, room to breathe. Preparation became portable, simple and clear. I stopped needing the world to arrange itself first. Make the ground usable, set what I can. I don't need ideal conditions to become who I am. Change the method, keep the meaning, let the setting rearrange. My commitment travels with me, it is not tied to a place. There were times when the answer is genuinely no. No safe space to continue, no strength left to go. Adapting is not forcing every plan through the wall. It is knowing what must stay and what is allowed to fall. Some days the work is movement, some days recovery. Some days one important call from a crowded street. The form may look different, but the standard survives. I make one useful choice in the conditions of life. I no longer collect inconvenience as a defense. I assess what is possible, then act with respect. The world will stay uneven, the road will rearrange. I will not make consistency depend on everything staying the same. use the floor. No hour, use 20. No silence, narrow focus. No perfect plan, purpose. Not reckless, not careless. Adapting complete, use what is present. Protect what I made. Make the ground usable. Set what I can. I don't need ideal conditions to take an honest stand. Change the method, keep the meaning. Let the setting rearrange. My commitment travels with me. It does not belong to a place. I carry the standard. The environment does not carry it for me. One blade at a time. That is how the edge returns. Not by swinging harder, but by sharpening the work. I don't need a sudden breakthrough. I need practice, clean and fine. The dullness leaves in layers. One blade at a time. One blade at a time. I had started moving carelessly, chasing speed to feel advanced, throwing weight through weak positions, calling effort good enough. When the numbers stopped improving, I attacked them with more force, as if volume could correct what I refused to practice slow. My hands knew every shortcut, my body hit the floor. I could finish every set without controlling it at all. The skill had lost its edge, but ego kept the pace alive. I was trying to cut deeper with the tool I wouldn't refine. More force was not the answer. So I lowered every number until weakness stood exposed. Pause where balance left the movement, held the line. I used to rush, I filmed one set for feedback, not attention, not display. Then corrected one small angle and repeated it for days. Nothing about it looked impressive, nothing fed the need for speed, but precision brought a strength that reckless effort couldn't reach. The movement started answering without tension out of place. I had not become less powerful, I had stopped wasting what I made. One blade at a time. That is how the edge returns. Not by swinging harder, but by sharpening the work. I don't need a sudden breakthrough. I need practice, clean and fine. The dullness leaves in layers. One blade at a time. Slow enough to feel the flow, still enough to hold the line, clean enough to earn the load again, refine. Refine. One blade at a time, let the careless habits fall. Strength without precision isn't strength I trust at all. I don't chase a louder number at the cost of clean design. I make power worth depending on. One blade at a time. Technique first, then wait. I noticed I only kept promises when keeping them was convenient. After 10 hours standing, I came through the door, dropped my bag by the table, sank down on the floor. The plan said 20 minutes, my mood said not tonight, and I treated that feeling like it carried legal rights. Every standard had clauses I could change on demand. If the shift ran too long, if the week got off plan, if I slept less than perfect, if my head felt unclear. my own word, doubt gather within. I kept asking for confidence while showing myself that my promises expired when they challenged my comfort. A standard made in comfort means nothing under strain. The terms reveal their value when I want them rearranged. These are terms I don't renegotiate. Show up honest, start with A. Do the minimum with full respect. Keep the promise I have left. I can lower the volume, I can alter the weight, but I don't cancel action because feeling came late. So that evening I changed into training close, slow. Set a mat near the window, kept the movement controlled. No punishment session, no attempt to erase the fatigue in my shoulders or the stress in my face. 8 steady repetitions, a pause, then 8 more. Nothing worth displaying, but I finished the course. When the contract said effort, it did not require pride. It required that my actions and my statement align. I began making agreements small enough to defend. Read 10 pages, walk 20, send the draft by 10. I stopped writing promises for an imaginary man with unlimited energy and an effortless plan. The turns became stronger when they matched what was true. Not soft, not indulgent, just possible to do. A standard isn't serious because suffering is high. It is serious when repeated without needing disguise. Adjust the method, keep the intent, change the load, honor the commitment. What do I owe when the day goes wrong? A perfect performance, a dramatic return, one honest action that keeps the chain strong. What do I sign when nobody knows? Only what I'm willing to prove when it's hard. These are terms I don't renegotiate. Begin on time, complete the base. Tell the truth about what I can, then do exactly what I said. I can shorten the session, I can move the date, but I don't let discomfort erase the whole agreement. I make smaller promises now, and I keep them. And I carry it for long. Yeah. And I carry it for long. Yeah. On Sunday I attacked the week, filled every box with strain. Long sessions after double shifts, no space to breathe or change. I like the feeling of intensity, the promise in the rush. But by Thursday I was empty, and by Friday I had stopped. I kept turning every dial to the highest market show, then called myself inconsistent when the system overloaded. I thought effort only mattered when it left me barely standing. I knew how to reach a boiling point, I did not know how to last. A temperature that ruins me cannot shape the life I want. Not the hardest, not the hardest. Give me effort I can hold. Give me heat that stays consistent when the week becomes demanding. I don't need to burn through everything to prove that I am strong. I choose the level I can carry, then I carry it for long. Then I carry it for long. I rebuilt the week with margins, 2 hard days, the others clean. Shorter work after late shift meals, prepared before the need. I left something in reserve instead of spending every spark. Learned to end a good session without turning it to harm. At first restraint felt almost lazy, the old standard called it weeks. Then I watched the months stay connected without vanishing for weeks. The body answered steady effort with the strength that didn't swing. What I lost in sudden drama I regained in permanence. to change, low enough to last. Bottling makes a moment, control completes the process.
Anyone can spike the meter. I am learning how to govern it.
When ambition turns the dial, I ask what tomorrow pays. I won't steal from 7 mornings for one reckless display.
Not the hardest, not the hardest. Give me effort I can't hold. Give me heat that stays consistent when the weak becomes demanding.
I don't need to drain the system
To believe that I belong, I choose the level I can carry, and I carry it for life.
I leave strength for the return. That is how I keep it. What gets through, what I choose, what gets cut, empty noise, what stays clear, the work ahead.
Protect the signal.
Guard the thread.
My screen held 12 windows, my mind held none. Every alert took a piece before the task had begun. I replied in a second, switched tracks every minute. Stayed busy all day without being incited. At lunch I could not name one thing I had made, just a trail of reactions and attention misplaced. I caught it being needed, called the chaos demand, but the noise kept deciding where I put my hands. Even training got split by the buzz in my bag. Half a set, check the message, lose the count, lose the path. I was present in body, transmitted somewhere else, letting every weak signal interrupt what mattered most.
Static never asked permission. It enters through the smallest break. Focus isn't found by wishing.
It is something I protect. Protect the signal, clear the line, one task, breathing at a time. Cut the static, hold the frame. Not every voice deserves my name.
Protect the signal, make it strong.
Attention is a channel, and night is sun.
What travels on?
I placed the phone face down in the drawer by the wall. Wrote one outcome on paper, let the rest of it wait. 40 minutes uninterrupted felt longer than hours, because depth has a weight that distraction devours. The first day my hand reached for a screen that stayed dark. That reflex showed clearly how scattered I'd become. So I watched the urge pass without feeding the need. Kept the line on the sentence, kept the breath on the speed. At the rack I used the silence like a clean frequency. Every repetition carried one instruction to me. Control on the lowering, no rush at the base. Finish what you were doing before changing the space. The world didn't collapse when I stopped answering fast. Most alarms were just habits dressed up like a task. I learned urgency shouts, but importance speaks low. Without guarding reception, I would never hear both.
Lower the volume, narrow the field. A scattered mind reacts, a focused mind builds. Signal locked, static dropped, one direction. No interruption, one decision.
Held to completion.
Protect the signal,
Clear the line, one true effort at a time.
let the noise knock, let it wait.
I will choose what enters the gate.
Signal, keep it strong.
My intention has a purpose, and night is sun.
What travels on? I do not owe every interruption